Hello, Science of Calm. Yay, happy Wednesday. I'm so excited. I am here to share some information about one of my favorite topics. I have come to call it the What's Next Reflex. And I think you're going to love it. What I love doing with my Facebook Lives is showing really super simple, science-forward ways that we can have calmer work days. And this topic is especially close to home for me. I actually just went through it myself. So, nobody's perfect. And it's a practice. I always say calm is a practice. And so we're going to talk about the what's next reflex today. So let's begin with a check-in. Let's check in on our body. How is our body feeling today? So just take a moment. And maybe you could, if you want to, you can put your hands on your heart center. That always helps me to kind of really get in touch with how I'm feeling. And if you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes and just check in with yourself. How are your shoulders? Are they up high? Maybe we can drop them down a little bit. How's our breath? Are we breathing out of our chest, up in the top of our chest, or are we breathing in our belly? Maybe we can drop that breath down into our belly a little bit and just noticing how the body feels, right? And it takes such a small amount of time to give our body a little bit of respect. And so let's go ahead and just, let's quiet things down for those of us who are feeling anxiety in our bodies. The anxiety is a signal. Right? It's a signal from the body to the brain saying, hey, I've got tense shoulders. Things are not good here for me. So let's connect that body mind in a quiet way. So go ahead and close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If not, the eyes can be partly open, gaze at the tip of the nose. We're just going to go ahead, left hand, heart center, right hand, left, eyes closed. Head can bow lightly. I'm going to take a deep breath in all the way to the belly, in through the nose, and slowly out through the mouth with a little bit of noise. In through the nose, and out with a in through the nose and out. Dropping the shoulders. Last time I call number 4 bliss breath. In through the nose, all the way down to the belly and out through the mouth, nice and slow. Now, we're just going to stay here for a moment. And just note how that feels and ask ourselves, how does the body feel now? Right? What a beautiful check-in. If you want to blink your eyes open, you can blink your eyes open. And let's just anchor in this feeling, right? It took 60 seconds. That's it. So whenever you feel like you can't slow down, you're moving too fast, I can't slow down. Just keep in mind, 60 seconds. A lot can happen, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So it's really important to me that this is just where I come from as far as what really, really fuels me and what really gets me motivated is I love calm work days. And it came from a place of really hard work for me because I'm somebody who has always been a really high achiever. I've really strove to get great grades. And I think somewhere along the lines, I started to equate my worth with my productivity, with how I did in school with my grades. And then I opened a business and how my business did. And Now I'm in a whole nother business, and I look at that very closely. So, and I love to do it from a science-forward perspective. So I believe that it requires 3 steps of us. And I love to break everything down into steps. For those of you who know me know I love my steps. The first step is making a commitment to become conscious through your day. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to be conscious all the time. I'm not even conscious all the time, and I practice regularly. But I strive to be conscious throughout my day. I strive to notice if I feel anxiety in my body. And if I feel that anxiety in my body, the second step, I pause and I take a breath. Just like what we did there. 3 of those little guys. It's super important. It moves us from autopilot and that like urgency mode. Instead, I set intention in my morning that I will be conscious. I will look for signs in my body that tell me I need to breathe, right? And so noting that anxiety in the body and coming back to breath. And then we're going to move on to the third step, which is what brought us here today, which is the what's next reflex, okay? So that's kind of what I'm talking a lot about this week is the what's next reflex. It's places where we're on autopilot and we don't even realize it. So have you ever caught yourself saying, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I feel like I'm never finished. Like I never get done. I never feel finished. I never feel like, I just never have that feeling of done. Even when I'm, in a meeting, I'm thinking about this application that needs to get in, or, oh shit, I gotta get that report to that person. Do you ever feel like I'm not really present sometimes, and I just want to feel more present in my life? That you're gonna love this. So this is what we're talking about, right? So I call it the what's next reflex, because say we finish an email and our first thought is, okay, what's next? Or we get through this meeting and our next thought is, okay, all right, what's up next? I catch myself saying that sometimes. Okay, what's up next? And when I hear myself saying that, that's where this came from. When I hear myself saying that, I do the 3 steps, right? So I stop and I breathe 3 times, and I try to bring myself back to, okay, that's enough of that. I want to be present, I want to be grounded, and I want to get more work done. We're going to talk about that as we go along. So sometimes you can even feel like you finally get to sit down and rest, but instead your brain is thinking, oh my gosh, I have so many things to get done. I can't rest. So does any of this sound familiar? If so, drop a comment down in the comments and let me know how this is landing for you all. Yeah. So let's talk about what is the what's next reflex from, say, a scientific perspective. So what it is it's a habit, right? We've taught ourselves this habit, which is immediately shifting your attention onto the next task. As soon as you finish the task, or sometimes even before we're finished the task, we switch completely, really quickly to the next task, right? And so when we keep doing that, we do a task, we switch to the next task, we switch to the next task without a little bit of breath in between, catching our breath, we never feel finished, right? Because we never allow ourselves the respect of a quiet pause to just let it sink in and let it like register, oh, I'm done. And the thing is that we've been doing this for a long time, right? And what's really fascinating is that we know that the nervous system is all about protection, right? That it's our body's mechanism to protecting us. If something's coming at it, if an animal is chasing us, we're going to go into fight or flight and we're going to run. Or if it's time to relax, we're going to rest and relaxation. So many of us spend so much time juggling work, juggling our jobs, juggling our kids, juggling our friendships, our deadlines, our leadership. And so many people are depending on us, especially women. Men too, of course, but women have that added bonus of oftentimes childcare, and it's just different being a woman. And pretty soon, when we're running from task to task, like I said, our nervous system starts to believe that urgency is how we're going to survive. We're going to survive by always scanning, looking for the next thing that we need to do. The next task, being one step ahead, is how we've taught our nervous system to feel safe, right? And so this becomes our norm, and this becomes what our nervous system is accepting. And when we practice it over and over again, it becomes a habit. So we technically have taught ourselves this. We've taught ourselves to always think ahead, to always prepare in advance, to anticipate, and to always ask, what's up next? Okay, so what's up next without a little tiny rest? And at first, this strategy is helpful. We rush and we can get things done. It made you reliable. It made you productive. It made you successful. But over time, this strategy became your default. And so being in survival mode became our default. And that means we're running on that short-term energy source for long term. And what it's costing us when the brain is always thinking what's next is that we never fully feel done or complete, right? Like we were just talking about. And another thing is that we're not present, right? If you're in a meeting and you're thinking, I've got to get that workbook turned in, or I've got to get those numbers turned in, instead of being present, then we miss out on that moment of being in the present. And it's lovely and it's delicious. Again, just not feeling like the work is finished. Or, this is something that really gets me, is that we have a hard time leaving work at work, right? Because we're not teaching ourselves the discipline of stopping when the job is complete, right? Of letting the body feel complete. So we get home and our body doesn't know if it's still at work, because you get home and it's off to the kids, it's doing this, it's doing that, it's taking so-and-so to soccer, or getting the meal prepped, or, it's more urgency and more urgency. Then we finally climb into bed and we're exhausted because we ran all day long, which makes perfect sense, no judgment. It's something I battle and I work with my own self, so I get it. But the beautiful thing is that, it's exhausting. So let's just be honest. And the thing is when we're running work days that are like that, let's be honest, how does it feel? It does, how does it feel in your body? I know because I have so many clients who tell me, and I know from my own personal experience that it feels overwhelming. It feels like I'm never meeting my own goals for myself. It feels like I'm always behind, and it's tiring. So you're working in this way, and your work days are not feeling calm. Then we get home and we're continuing to work. And so then our evenings don't have a lot of energy left over for them. Sometimes we're snapping. Sometimes we're just not able to spend the time. Like if we have kids, we're not able to cook with them or do the fun things that we would like to do or spend that really good quality time with them. And then we try to go to sleep. So then we try to go to sleep and we toss and we turn, and we still have a really hard time leaving work at work. We wake up and we think, I have so much to do today, and we haven't even got to the office yet because our priorities and our boundaries are a little bit mixed up. So the thing is that this isn't about busyness. It's not about being busy. It's not about the what's next. It's not about the urgency. It's about what is all of this doing to our nervous system. It's about our nervous system. If we can shift our nervous system, we can change how all of this feels and still be super duper productive. That's my number one thing, is we can succeed, we can be wildly successful and still have calm work days. So that's what this whole, my live series, that's what these are about, is how can I be successful and still have calm work days? So when our brain, and so this one little what's next reflex is one step towards calm work days, right? So when our what's next reflex is on and kicking, and we're scanning for what's next, and we're in protection mode, right? We're in fight or flight, we're in survival mode, and we're feeling tired and stressed. We can feel it in our bodies if we were to be conscious. And then this is the wild thing, is that technically, scientifically, our executive function skills are not firing very well. So I hear this a lot. I have a lot of difficulties focusing. I'm just a really disorganized person. I am snapping at my kids. I'm snapping at my husband, and I feel so guilty. I'm always feeling guilty. I never have enough time. I want to spend better time. I hear it all the time. And I'm so excited to tell you that there is a way to be efficient and effective. And it really lies in the nervous system with the executive function skills, okay? So the executive function skills are the skills for organization, for being emotionally centered and grounded, for focus, for being able to pivot, right? All of those things that when we're running in urgency go haywire, right? So if we feel disorganized or forgetful or like you can't focus, your best start is to stop and just pause. Do that 60-second breath that we did at the beginning. Bring yourself down, because when those those executive function skills are online, we are so much more organized. We're able to work smarter, not harder, right? And so our nervous system and our brain have been really working overtime to try to protect us and to keep us in, but we're in survival mode. And so our executive function skills are not working. So here's the good news is that we taught our nervous system this. Okay, so if you think about it, how long have you been running around in urgency or thinking, oh my God, what's next, before you finished what you're doing? Probably a long time, right? You've been doing this for years and years and years and years, right? So when we practice something over and over and over again, we teach our nervous system that this is the habit, right? And that this is our strategy for how we work. But the beautiful part is that we can work differently. We can teach our nervous system a new strategy, a new way of working, so that we can feel calm through our day. And so we kind of come back to those steps, right? Is that if we can be more conscious through our day, then we can work smarter, not harder. Our executive function skills come online. We're more organized. We can pivot. We have better focus, less emotional outbursts, and less anxiety. So the goal is to regulate the nervous system and to quiet that what's next reflex, so that you can work in a really nice, grounded, steady pace instead of urgency and scanning for what's next. Because when our nervous system and our executive function, our mind-body connection is working, it's grounded, it's quiet. It's that woman over there that you see who looks like she's got it all together and she just looks fantastic and like she never sweats. And you're like, what the heck? I want to be her. But instead we feel like the one rushing around, getting less done actually, even though we think if we rush we're going to get more done, we're not. And so we can get more done by being grounded and quiet. And the great thing is that it doesn't take forever. I know that some people are out there going, oh, I love what she's talking about. I wish I could do this. I don't have time. I don't even have time to get the stuff done. And this woman's trying to tell me to take more time out. But what I am telling you is that it takes 60 seconds, okay? So I'm going to give you a little practice, a little something to weave into your day next week, okay? Or for the rest of this week. I would love to invite you to give this a whirl. The next time that first off, step one is you have to be conscious. Decide that you're going to no longer let this subconscious, what's next, run the show. Be conscious of when your body is tense, right? That's a signal that this is going on for you. Take a deep breath, right? If you catch yourself saying, okay, what's next? Slow down, pause for just a second, take a deep breath. Do those 3 breaths like we had talked about, right? Or if you see, if you feel stress in your body, you'll want to just pause for a second. Look around the room, put your feet firmly on the floor and take 3 breaths, a total of 60 seconds. You finish that email, take a breath. It can work proactively too, and it works even better. So you finish a task, allow yourself to get up and walk and go to the water cooler, grab a drink of water. If your body wants to saunter and move in that way, allow it, and then come back and allow your body to register that you're complete, that it's done, it's finished. So let's talk about what happens when we do this, right? Knowing that it doesn't take longer than 60 seconds, doesn't take longer than a trip to the water cooler or whatever. It doesn't take that long. You're not teaching your system something new. And here's the deal, is that you can weave it in through your day. And the key is to weave it in through your day. So here's a little bit more science for those of you who are geeky like me. I love my science. I came to a certain age. I've been doing this kind of work since I was a baby. I think I was, well, I wouldn't say baby, because some people were really fortunate who had, parents who taught yoga or whatever, who learned yoga, or who, just had really good skills. I had to really fight for learning these skills. And I started learning them when I was in my 20s. And so I've been learning about nervous system regulation since I was a little babe. And here's what I've learned when it comes to the science. That I'm sure that you've heard you can break a habit in 24 days. I think I've heard 24 days or 21 days. I've heard different things, but it's kind of the same amount of time. Is what I've always heard, is that it's possible to break the habit. But the thing is you're not looking to break a habit. You're looking to break a habit, start a new habit, and then get that habit to be automatic. That's actually what we want, right? So let me tell you how we're going to do this, okay? First off, calm is a practice, and I always say calm is a practice. Yes, and consistency is the only way. It actually, technically, takes about 67 days for our body to stop the habit that we're doing, create a new habit, and then get that habit automated so that we are automatically finishing a task, breathing, and then moving on to a task, right? So we have to, number one, choose to be conscious. Today, I always wake up in the morning and I set my goal for the day. Like today's was, I'm going to be patient with myself. But we wake up and say, okay, I'm going to be conscious today of my body. I'm going to be conscious of this what's next reflex. I'm going to watch myself, and I'm going to take a pause and a breath between tasks to be proactive. Or if I hear myself saying, okay, what's next? I'm going to take a breath. Or if I notice my body, then I'm going to take a quiet little breath. And if we do this practice for 67 days, we will, number one, we've got this neural pathway, right? And it's been running our whole lives. We've been running in urgency, getting our job done, right? So now we want to tell ourselves, we're going to do something new. We're going to come over here and we're going to run in this path. So first off, patience with yourself, right? Because you're over here. So now you're asking yourself to come out of this woven rut that you have created for yourself. And you're going to have to come up over the edge and come into a new path where you're going to have to forge it. And it's not always easy, and it doesn't always feel comfortable. So you're going to have to forge this new path, okay? So you're going to run in this new path. So now we're at about 20 days, right? So now the coolest thing happens over here in step 3, okay? So now we're coming over and we're kind of coming down this next path, which is old path, new path, automation, okay? So when we're going down this automated path, we have these new neural pathways that has been built, and the body does this amazing thing where it myelinates, and it almost puts like a coating along this neural pathway for efficiency and effectiveness. God, the body's beautiful. Okay, so now you've got this super effective and efficient highway. So 67 days. I hate it. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There is no shortcut. There isn't. There just isn't. But in 67 days, if you allow yourself to just kind of enjoy that science, look it up for yourself if you want to, so that you really know for yourself. This is a live, and I can only get so much information in here, you know, in this amount of time. So learn a little bit if you really want to. Otherwise, take my word for it and do it for 67 days. The invitation is there. And see if you can't get yourself to learn a new pathway and have it become automatic, that you rest in between your tasks. And so while you do this, it's funny because note that when you're super, super busy, it's going to come up more. The what's next is going to happen a lot, right? When you're in busy seasons. When things are nice and slow, if you work from home, like it's a little easier to catch it, right? And know that when you first start, I like to think of it as your initial neural pathway is like when you're in a snowstorm or you're in snow and you drive along in that worn pathway, and then you decide you're going to come over here and you're going to go into this new neural pathway. And it's really rocky and it's hard to get up over and into this new pathway, right? So have patience with yourself. When you're going into this new neural pathway, have patience. Give yourself love and breathe. And just know that it's going to come up more for you. That I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing this right. And just know that when you're super busy, in a really busy time in your business, it's going to happen more. And so to breathe through it. And I know, because like I said, I've been kind of going through that myself. I'm in a really busy season right now. I'm getting ready I'm putting on something cool for you guys. Monica's going to be in it. Hi, Monica. So, yeah, I'm getting ready to I'm putting something together that's amazing, but there's a lot of bits and pieces, moving parts. And so I've had to my body has felt a lot of tension. And so I've had to pay close attention to this signal that this little girl is sending to my brain, is that I am, is that I'm stressed, right? And so when you're paying close attention, it's lovely, because then you can give your nervous system what it wants. So to summarize, we are choosing to be aware is your first step. Choosing to commit to yourself, knowing that the science is there and that you just need to consistently practice this, right? So being conscious. And then our second step is to pause and breathe. We catch ourselves going on to the next step without breathing. Breathe, right? So don't let ourselves go from project to project to project without breathing. Finish your project, finish that Tuffy email, and take a nice breath, because you deserve it. And allow yourself to register, I'm done. This task is complete. Allow your executive function skills to come online so you're organized and you're focused, and allow your nervous system to feel safe again, right? Because we've given our body everything it needs so that our brain is quiet and our mind is quiet. And so we pause and we breathe between tasks, and then have patience with yourself. If you're noticing it come up a lot, please be patient and have faith that if we do this consistently enough, it will become automatic, and then there won't be so much chatter, right? So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and I really look forward to hearing from you. If you drop in the comments, or if you're getting this on the replay, I would be so honored if you would send me an email and let me know. Do you notice the what's next going on in your life? Are you noticing anxiety in your body? What showed up when we were breathing today? Anything you want to talk about? It would be an honor for me to get to hear what you have to say. So with these lives, it's my goal to help bring a little bit of calm into those work days for you, and to get into activity, get into action, right? Believe it or not, feeling calm requires consistent practice, because awareness is where the change begins, and then consistency, consistent practice is where the change becomes automatic. So have a beautiful rest of your week, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.